Hello, boys and girls. It's Aunty Mimmi here. Today's book is called Daisy Little Dancer. Sounds fun, doesn't it? So sit back, get comfortable, and let's begin. Daisy loved to dance. More than anything else, she wanted to be a famous ballet dancer. Every night she dreamed of performing in front of a real audience. But today was Daisy's first lesson at her new dancing school. As she walked into the huge hall, she felt a little worried. I hope Miss Pringle's watching me, thought one of the dancers. Hello, Daisy, said Mrs. Pringle, the dancing teacher. Daisy thought Mrs. Pringle looked beautiful, elegant, tall and graceful. Then Daisy met the other dancers in the class. They had all been to the school before. Daisy was the only new one there, and she was by far the smallest dancer in the hall. Now Daisy began to feel very worried indeed. I look even taller in the mirror. I think I'm the smallest. Daisy looked round at the other dancers, warming up ready for the lesson to begin. She could see Selina and Sophie admiring themselves in the mirror. They were so tall and slender. Then there was a small group of dancers exercising at the bar. Suddenly, 3 boys came rushing across the room and nearly knocked Daisy over. They were the noisy trio, as Mrs. Pringle called them, Nigel, Dan and Andrew. Whoops, sorry, Nigel said to Daisy. You're so small we didn't see you. Whoops, sorry. Listen now, everyone, called Mrs. Pringle. This summer, I would like this class to perform the Silver Swan. You will all take part. Everyone cheered. They had all heard of the Silver Swan. The costumes were great and the music was brilliant with lots of drums, trumpets and tinkling chimes. Daisy wasn't sure what it was, but she felt excited all the same. Hooray! Hooray! This morning, said Mrs. Pringle, I should like to choose who will play which part. We will start with the trees. Listen to the music for the wind in the trees and watch carefully. Mrs. Pringle waved her arms and danced on the spot. She looked just like a beautiful tree swaying in the breeze. Swish, 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 swish. Now it's your turn, said Mrs. Pringle. The dancers waved their arms and danced on the spot. Swish, 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 swish. Mrs. Pringle chose Selina and Sophie to be the trees, but she didn't choose Daisy. Isn't Mrs. Pringle lovely? Thought a couple of the girls. Next, said Mrs. Pringle, I want you to dance like fire. Listen to the music for the flames and watch carefully. Mrs. Pringle danced towards Selina and Sophie. Her arms leapt out like fiery flames around the slender trees. Flicker, flicker, crackle, crackle. Now it's your turn, said Mrs. Pringle. The dancers leapt around the hall like raging fire. Flicker, flicker, crackle, crackle. Very good, said Mrs. Pringle, and she chose the noisy trio to be the flames. But she didn't choose Daisy. Think dragon, thought one of the boys. Now, called Mrs. Pringle, tapping her stick for attention, I want you to pretend to be woodland creatures running away from the flames. Listen to the music for the creatures running and watch carefully. Mrs. Pringle ran away from the noisy trio like a frightened animal. Swoosh, swoosh, scamper, scamper. Now it's your turn, she said. Everyone danced their best, their very best. Swoosh, swoosh, scamper, scamper. Mrs. Pringle chose the rest of the dancers to be the woodland creatures, but she didn't choose Daisy. Help, help, fire, fire. Daisy was the only dancer without a part. She wanted to cry. Now, said Mrs. Pringle, I would usually choose an older dancer for the star role, but this year I have decided to do something a little different. The silver swan will fly across the stage on dancers' ropes. For this, we need the smallest and lightest dancer in the school. Everyone looked at Daisy. I bet I know who it is. I know this is your very first lesson, Daisy, Mrs. Pringle said, but I wonder if you would like to be the silver swan. Daisy was thrilled. Me? She gasped. Oh, Mrs. Pringle, I'd love to. So the ropes were tied around Daisy's waist and she swept across the stage. Daisy's class practiced really hard that summer. At the end of term, they put on the special performance of the Silver Swan, and everyone came to see it. Good luck, everybody. The curtain rose and the musicians began to play. Swish, 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 swish. The trees swayed in the breeze, but the wind grew stronger and stronger. Suddenly there was a loud crack as lightning struck the trees and flames leapt around them. Flicker, flicker, crackle, crackle. Those flames are noisy, aren't they? I'm so proud, said one of the dads. The woodland creatures started to flee. Swoosh, swoosh, scamper, scamper. They were terrified and didn't know where to go. Just then the animals looked up. There above them, swooping softly and silently, was the silver swan. She would show them to safety. And Daisy, the little dancer, glided gently before them and led the woodland creatures safely to the silver lagoon. What a beautiful little swan. Everyone clapped and cheered and shouted for more. The musicians, the dancers had done so well that Mrs. Pringle wanted to cry for joy. Daisy was the proudest little dancer in the whole ballet school. Perhaps one day she would be famous after all. Thank you, everyone. Hooray, bravo, more. Well, that was a wonderful book, wasn't it? Daisy really did prove herself to be a super little dancer, didn't she? And I hope one day that she is a famous ballerina. Do you like dancing, boys and girls? Do you ever enter any little shows at your school or nursery? I hope so, because it's fun, isn't it? Anyway, as always, I want you to look after one another. I want you to be kind to one another. And I want you to try and have fun every single day. Until next time, bye-bye.